I am so excited to be here today. This is awesome. Thank you so much for having us here.
Absolutely. I love having you here.
So tell me a little bit about how Great Bear Wax Company started.
So I was in college. I had bought my girlfriend at the time a pretty expensive candle, and she didn't like it, I didn't like it, and after that I sort of just kind of started building this idea to...
Yeah, you're like, I can do this better.
Yeah, for sure. And then started making candles in my kitchen, and that was 2013. So
I can just picture you in your kitchen, like stirring a big pot of wax.
Yeah,
right out
that was it. And when we started, we were doing all like locally sourced beeswax, which is a highly flammable, very expensive substance, and I almost lit our entire house on fire. It's one of the only times I can remember screaming out of like fear.
Be very careful.
Yes.
Wow, okay, so tell me a little bit about how the company has changed from like, okay, you started in your kitchen.
Yep.
And then now like, this is amazing.
So I moved the shop from my kitchen to this train station in Opelika, a little small room in there. I don't even think he charged me rent. Like he was so for all of us. After I started the business, I spent one more summer in Northern California, and I actually flew all my candle making gear to California, and then I would make candles on my off days and ship them out from California.
That's amazing.
It was a lot of fun. And then really felt the need to move to Birmingham. It's sort of the idea was if you can be the best candle maker in Birmingham, you could be the best candle maker in Alabama.
So tell me, what's your favorite part about your job?
I really enjoy creating a product. I enjoy the photos, stories that people have of why Tobacco Bay or Wood No. 1 means so much to them.
Yeah, scent is so incredible. Like, it totally sets a mood and takes you places.
Yeah, it's this phenomenon called olfactory memory, and it's the idea that fragrance and scent, far greater than any other sense that we have, triggers memory and emotion. And so our tagline is inspired by fond memories, which is why you see everything from campfire to magnolia.
So what is something that you want everyone to know about Great Bear Wax Company that they might not know at first glance?
That it matters, that we see their names, we pack up their orders. I still have notifications on my phone every time somebody orders, and it never stops exciting me. And yeah. I'm
really excited to get started. Can we jump in and start making some candles?
Let's do it.
Okay, good.
First things first, let's get you an apron.
Oh, good. Thank goodness you have those, because I am crazy messy. I feel like this is like some seriously industrial stuff right here.
Do you want this one that's waxy?
This is great. I think it's perfect.
Do I look like the butcher at Winn-Dixie?
I think that's impossible, Jake.
To look like the butcher at Winn-Dixie. Okay, so we've got wax in the melters. Next thing that we're gonna do is put our wicks in each of our jars. So if you wanna grab a handful, make sure there are 2 in each of these jars.
Oh, nice. Is that because the wax isn't melt enough if you put 1?
It depends. Have you ever had a candle that's sort of funneled?
Yes, it's the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah,
so much gets wasted. For
sure. So that's one of 2 reasons. One, either the wick isn't large enough to burn all the way to the outside of the candle, or 2, it's your fault.
Oh no!
And so what can happen is if you don't let your first burn go all the way to the outside of the jar, it'll never correct itself. It's called a melt pool, so you want that to be all the way across the candle. But I mean, I've even done it. I've lit a candle and then realized I gotta go to the grocery store, blew it out. And so what we do is we actually secure all of our wicks to the bottom just by putting a little bit of hot glue.
Nice. Oh, that's what this straw is for. I was like, how is...
Yeah, so we use a straw because it is it's strong enough to actually push down on the wick tab there, making sure that it's secure. But you can also squeeze it, so you can grab the wick and not lose it. Yeah, it's kind of a crafty little thing. I've spent a lot of money trying to figure out a way to do it that's a little bit better. This is always the best way. And so what you want to do is make sure that there's a little bit, just a little dab of glue there on the bottom, just a little bit, and then just grab it there.
And then just stick it on the side?
Yep.
Is that okay?
Perfect.
Do you usually get on like your favorite jams while you do it? Like,
yeah, podcasts or music, Jimmy Buffett, Garth Brooks. Yeah. Okay, so once we're done gluing, we'll start working on fragrance. I know we've talked about what kind of fragrance we want to create together, and it was kind of a sweetgrass, meadow, field. You want to walk me through kind of what that means to you?
Oh, well, I guess whenever I think of the most peaceful, like happy place, I just think of being a little girl running through a field, picking wildflowers with that warm scent of like sweet grass and flowers just like filling your lungs and like twirling. Like that's ultimate happy zone for
Absolutely.
me.
I
so
love
like
it.
That was the idea behind it. But
so I went ahead and pulled 3 bases for us. We've got wisteria here, we've got gardenia here, and then succulent, which is the fragrance that we formulated here in the shop. And we've got some top notes that we're going to add to each of these to make sure we get it just exactly the way you want it. We've got meadow breeze here, sweetgrass, wildflower, lavender, and gardenia. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take our succulent fragrance and we'll go ahead and start with that. So smell that, tell me what you like about it, and tell me what we can do.
I love it. I love how it just feels like a breeze is hitting me and sunshine is on my skin. It's warm and fresh and light. I feel like some sort of florally sweet note, like maybe, I don't know, lavender. I don't know, what do you think? Like a hint of lavender, or maybe a bit of like some sort of wildflower?
Yeah, so that was the idea. We wanted a super green fragrance, but I think to create a meadow, I would like to mellow out that top note.
Yes, just a little bit.
So why don't we add some lavender? We'll go ahead and add just a few drops to it, stir it around.
That's so cool how, like, in my mind, I would have no idea what to do.
And then let's also take some gardenia. It's a little bit, just sort of by nature, it's a broader fragrance.
Yeah.
It's sort of, I tend to see fragrance-like shapes. So I see our succulent like a triangle, and I see gardenia more of like an oval.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
No, makes me be able to understand the feel of it so much better.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so go ahead and smell that. See if we mellowed it out a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. Very nice.
Oh yeah, it's not as like, it almost was like zesty sunshine. Now it's more like a flourishing sunny feel.
Yeah. I think the difference between like morning light and an afternoon light.
Yes, it's more afternoon now.
Okay, cool. I think it's a good starting point. Why don't we see what we can do with this gardenia? I know that's one that we smelled right when we got in the shop.
So nostalgic. I feel like maybe it's not necessarily in a meadow, but I feel like a little bit of that has to be in there because it's just so flowery.
Absolutely.
And amazing.
Well, cool. Well, let's add some bright notes to it.
Yes.
Sort of doing the exact opposite of what we did with succulent. Let's take sweetgrass and add just a very little bit there. Let's take meadow breeze, and here we go. Let me stir that around. And then let's also take some lavender to broaden it up a little bit more. All right, tell me what you think of that.
Oh, wow. It's so good. Before it was like almost in your face, and now it's kind of like you get a wave of it mixed with the others. I love that. Jake, you're a wizard. You're a master.
Well, we had a point where we were trying to go.
Yes.
So that makes this process a lot easier, having a plan.
Wow.
Okay, so we're getting close. Let's, while we're here, while we have it, why don't we go ahead and take this wisteria base and see what we want to add to it. That way we can have another option.
Oh my word. That's so good.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think. I'm not really sure. I feel like it needs like almost a lighter.
Yeah, it's got a very
grassy sunshine because it's got the floral.
Absolutely.
Nostalgic feel already.
Yep.
Like maybe more of a lighter, wider.
Very cool.
scent.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. I get it exactly.
Yeah.
So let's take some sweetgrass,
Yes.
which we did add to this one to number 2, but we'll add it to number 1 as well. Wildflower.
Yes.
And then let's add another floral note to it, kind of widen it out again. I think we're getting there.
Oh wow, that's it.
You think that's it?
I think that's perfect.
Perfect.
Do you think? I feel like I'm in a field of flowers, like with sweetgrass waving in the wind and sunshine's on my skin. So
okay, well, we'll make
I don't think there could be a more perfect candle scent than that.
All right, well, let me make sure that that we'll get the ratios right, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put it in a bigger growler, and then we'll start making candles.
Perfect.
Okay, so now that we had our adventurous fragrance blended and made into a bigger batch, what we'll do is we will go ahead and separate it out into a pitcher.
Nice. So you weigh it before you add the wax?
Yes, so we have
Smart.
4-pound pitchers, so we do a certain amount of wax for every 4 pounds.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We've got 2 80-pound melters here, which if you want to look in there, you can kind of
Oh my word.
see a lot of melted wax. And each pouring pitcher is about 4 pounds, so we fill it up.
To the top?
Okay, so we keep all of our wax at 185 degrees so that all of the oil can adhere into every bit of this wax. So we'll stir it for a little bit. So now that we have let our wax sit and cool for about an hour, we're ready to pour. Let's actually try and pick up every single candle that we pour. And I'm gonna teach you how to do this because I'm only gonna pour 2. You're gonna pour the other 4.
Okay, I'll try.
And so what we do, hold it, pour it in.
Hi, you like fill it too?
Yeah, a little bit slowly, not too slow, not too fast. And then once it gets to about 1/4 of an inch from the top, we stop. And so I'm gonna pour this one and then it's your turn. All right.
Is that too much?
Beautiful.
One down. Okay, hopefully I don't spill anything else. Okay. What do you think is the most candles you've made in a day?
We have poured as many as 800 candles in a day.
Whoops.
Perfect.
Oh, no way, is that too full?
No, looks good. Okay, so we're gonna set this over here. And then
800?
yeah, 800 a day. We had a big, huge order last year, and we had to cruise on it. So what we do is we take these. What this is going to do is it's going to make sure our wicks are centered. Yeah, make sure that they're not moving around while it's cooling. And so what you do is you just put these 2 in like that. And
How
then
handy. I
flip
didn't even
it
know that was an
in
invention.
just like that. If you want to
Yeah.
try a few of them.
It's cool how they're this like beautiful golden color because they won't be like this one.
No,
They
so
dry
so
or
we'll
harden,
come back and clip the wicks,
Nice.
put labels on them,
And it's good to go, huh?
make sure they're ready to go.
Awesome. Well, Jake, this has been so fun,
Yeah.
so amazing. Thank you so much for having us and creating with us and like
Absolutely.
just letting us step into your story.
Absolutely.
This is
It's
so
been an
fun.
absolute joy.
Thanks so much for watching, guys.
See that subscribe button? I want you to hit it so excitedly that you sprain your wrist. And like this video, comment below.
Yes, also please be sure to follow Great Bear Wax Company. And there's also a link in the description below where you can purchase the candle collaboration that we did, as well as some other amazing candles. Thanks so much for watching, guys.
Can't wait to be adventurous with you again soon.